Welcome to the lecture series on nutraceuticals and functional foods. The term nutraceutical is something which is in vogue these days along with the term organic farming. So what does this mean? And is it something which people discovered right now, or is it something which has been existing? This is what we are going to discuss in this series, and we are also going to see which are the ones which we are now realizing the importance of what this particular term means. Definition wise, nutraceutical is a very broad term that is used to describe any product derived from food sources with extra health benefits in addition to the basic nutritional value found in foods. So each food has its normal nutritional value. In addition to that, if a particular food provides a specific quality, an extra health benefit, in synonym along with this, medical foods, designer foods, phytochemicals, functional foods, nutritional supplements, all these terms are almost similar, and they also include everyday products like the yogurts and the fortified breakfast cereals, as well as the vitamins, herbal remedies, and even sometimes the genetically modified food and supplements. And each country and the term, depending upon which country you are in, the terms and the definitions for nutraceutical also differs. The term nutraceutical is a hybrid of nutrition and pharmaceuticals, and this was coined in 1989 by D. Phillies and the Foundation for Innovation in Medicine. And its definition was any substance that may be considered as a food or a part of food, and it provides medical or health benefits including the prevention and the treatment of a disease. So any substance which is considered as a food or a part of a food which gives extra health benefit or a medical benefit, consuming it might prevent the occurrence of a particular disease, or it would be a part of a treatment for a particular disease. If any food plays a role like that, then that is defined as a nutraceutical. Such products may range from isolated nutrients, dietary supplements and diets to genetically engineered designer foods, herbal products, and processed foods such as cereals, soups, and beverages. According to the International Food Information Council, functional foods are foods or dietary components that may provide a health benefit beyond basic nutrition. The International Life Sciences Institute of Northern America has defined a functional food as foods that by virtue of physiologically active food components provide health benefit beyond basic nutrition. So there is slight variation in how you express the definition of a functional food, but the commonality is they have to provide a health benefit. Beyond basic nutrition, there should be an additional health benefit to what you call as a functional food. And the Health Canada defines the functional food as similar in appearance to conventional food, consumed as a part of the usual diet with demonstrated physiological benefits and or to reduce the risk of chronic disease beyond the basic nutritional inflation. So here the definition is slightly more defined. It's a part of a food, it looks like your normal conventional food, it is a part of the normal diet, but its benefit, physiological benefit is well proven, and its role in reducing a chronic disease is also been proved. If you have such a food, then that is a functional food. And the Nutrition and Business Journal classified functional food as food fortified with added or concentrated ingredients to functional levels which improves the health of performance. So here this has a little more addition. This is a part of your normal food, but beyond the normal basic nutritional component, it has been enriched, it has been fortified with concentrated ingredient or an added component in more level. For example, protein, it might contain 10% or 20%, but if you add 40% to it, instead of the normal 20, you get 40% when consuming one filling of it, then it means that it has been fortified, it has been enriched, and that enrichment should also play a finite role in the health condition of the particular person who is consuming it. Then that is defined by the Nutrition Journal as a functional food. Functional foods include enriched cereals, breads, sports drink, bars, fortified snack foods, baby foods, prepared meals, and much more. Any component which has been enriched would come under this. The term functional implies that the food has some identifiable value leading to health benefits, including the reduced risk of disease for the person who is consuming it. So, functional foods will include everything from natural food like fruits and vegetables endowed with antioxidants and fiber, to fortified and enriched foods such as orange juice with additional vitamin C or added calcium or additional carotenoids, to formulated ready to drink beverages containing antioxidants and immune supportive functions. So, all this would broadly come under the term functional food. The Nutrition Business Journal also states that it uses the term nutraceutical for anything that is consumed primarily or particularly for health reason. Anything you consume for the betterment of your health, that is called as a nutraceutical. Based on that definition, a functional food would also be a nutraceutical. And Health Canada states that nutraceuticals are a product that is prepared from food, but in the form of pills or powders or potions or in other medicinal forms that is usually not associated with food. And a nutraceutical is demonstrated to have a physiological benefit or provide protection against chronic disease. The potential functions of nutraceutical or the functional food ingredients are so often related to the maintenance or improvement of the health that is necessary to distinguish between a food ingredient that has a function and as a drug. And if you look into the definition of a drug, it is any article that is intended for use in the diagnosis, in the cure, in the mitigation, treatment or prevention of a disease in man or other animals. So, you have a slight variation between a nutraceutical and a drug. Depending upon one's interest or background, the appropriate organizational scheme for nutraceuticals can vary. For example, even among doctors, what a cardiologist looks for in a nutraceutical would be different from what an oncologist looks for in a nutraceutical. For example, cardiologists may be more interested in those nutraceuticals that are associated in reducing the risk of heart disease. So, they would be looking more for omega-3, which will reduce the BP, so that the occurrence of the cardiovascular diseases would become reduced. So, specifically, their interest may lie in those substances which influence the hypertension and the hypercholesterolemia, and to reduce the free radical or the platelet dependent thrombotic activity. So, nutraceutical factors like omega-3 fatty acids, phytosterols, quercetin, grape flavonoids, these would be of interest to cardiologists because all of these play a major role in reducing hypertension, and hypertension is one of the major factors which is the beginning point for the occurrence of a cardiovascular disease. Oncologists may be more interested in those substances that target the anti-carcinogenic activities. These substances may be associated with augmentations of microsomal detoxification systems and the antioxidant defenses, or they may slow the progression of the existing cancer. So, anything which has an anti-cancer property, any food component which has a specific anti-cancer activity, or which will help in more detoxification systems, or which will help to augment the antioxidants. There are many antioxidant components in many food. So, they are the ones which play a role in scavenging the free radicals, which in turn are one of the pathways by which cancer progresses. So, if the free radicals scavenged, then the progress of the cancer can be reduced. So, for an oncologist, a nutraceutical may be more, from his point of view, one which has more anti-cancer carcinogenic property or which has more antioxidant properties. The nutraceutical interest of a food scientist working on the development of a functional food product will not only include the physiological properties, but also the stability and the sensory properties, as well as the issues of cost efficiency. So, what food technologists look for in a nutraceutical would be when you augment or enrich a food product as a fortified food or a fortified cereal, whatever component you add in extra should not hamper the person's ability to obtain nutrition from the particular food consumed. 2, it should not interfere with the shelf life of the food, or it should not compromise on either the sensory property or stability of the food content, and also cost efficacy, because you added a particular component which you are going to add in nano levels or milligram levels, but that if that is very expensive, then when you add it to the food, it might be beyond the reach of common consumers. So then cost efficiency is not there, the food would not be welcome. So what a cardiologist look for in a nutraceutical, what a pharmacist looks for, or what an oncologist look for, or what a food scientist look for is different in their own perspectives. To demonstrate this point, for example, the anti-carcinogenic tritopene, limonene, this is a lipid soluble and intensely bitter. So when you add this tritopene limonene, which is lipid soluble, to the food becomes bitter in taste, the sensory perception is lost, people don't welcome it. So it cannot be used as a functional food ingredient. But the glucoside derivative of limonene, which shares the anti-carcinogenic property, it is water soluble and it is tasteless. So when food product is augmented, enriched with this, this will enhance the potential use as an ingredient. So this is how it differs. If you add a component which reduces the sensory value, for a food technologist it is not of use. Whereas if there is a slightly less efficient component which is also equally effective, it doesn't change either the stability properties or the shelf life properties or the sensory properties, then that would be more welcome from a food technologist point of view. Nutraceuticals are found in a mosaic of products ranging from the food industry, the herbal and the dietary supplement industry or the market, the pharmaceutical industry, and the newly merged form of all these, the pharmaceutical, agribusiness, nutrition conglomerates together also use the term nutraceuticals. This may range from isolated nutrients, herbal products, dietary supplements and diets to genetically engineered designer food and also processed foods such as cereals, soups and beverages. And nutraceutical covers most of the therapeutic areas like anti-arthritic, cold and cough, sleeping disorders, digestion, prevention of certain cancers, osteoporosis, blood pressure, cholesterol control, painkillers, depression and diabetes. So what we call as lifestyle diseases and the major diseases which compromise on the quality of life, the nutraceuticals can be used as therapeutics for reducing their symptoms and to improve the lifestyle of the person who is suffering from it. Wide variety of nutraceutical foods are available in the market, which falls in the category of both traditional food and non-traditional foods. Under the category traditional nutraceuticals comes a food with no change to the food made. So this is a part of your common diet. It is normal food which you consume. It is simply natural whole food. But what makes it different is you know information about the health qualities which you will gain by eating that food. It is a part of your natural traditional diet. Earlier you were not aware of its health properties or medicinal properties, but now you consume it, you eat it as a part of your diet, very well knowing that eating this will give you these benefits. There has been no change to the actual food here other than the way the consumer perceives them. Many fruits, vegetables, grains, fish, dairy products, meat products contain several natural components, deliver the benefits beyond the basic nutrition, like the lycopene in tomatoes, the omega-3 fatty acids in the fish or the salmon, the saponins in soy. So you have been consuming tomato, fish, soy or even normal fruits and vegetables from time immemorial. But earlier you were not aware that these contain these products, bioproducts, for example lycopene in tomatoes. The omega-3 gives this benefit. So that knowledge was not there. But now you consume the food knowing very well that when you consume this is the benefit you get. Even tea and the chocolate have been noted for in some studies to attribute health benefit, to have health benefiting qualities. The non-traditional nutraceuticals, they are the outcome from agricultural breeding or added nutrients or ingredients such as orange juice fortified with calcium, cereals with added vitamins or minerals and flour with added folic acid. So you consume flour, but right now the flour which you are consuming has been fortified with folic acid, or your orange juice which you drink regularly has now extra calcium. So these are derived products. The products were earlier existing, now we have fortified it and you consume it knowing very well that this has been enriched with this component. Agricultural scientists very well have come up with techniques to boost the nutritional content of these crops. And research is currently being conducted to improve the nutritional quality of many crops which are consumed normally. So when you class talk about the term nutraceutical, there are three broad categories which are normally considered: the nutrients, the herbals, and the dietary supplements. Substances with established nutritional functions like vitamins, minerals, amino acids, these come under the heading nutrients. Herbs or botanical products like concentrates or the extracts from herbs, they come under the term herbals. The reagents derived from other sources, for example pyruvate, chondroitin sulfate, steroid hormone precursors, serving specific functions for sports nutrition, the weight loss supplement and meal replacements, these come under the dietary supplements. Based on the chemical constituents also, we can divide the nutraceuticals. One, based on nutrients as defined by AAFCO, a feed constituent in a form and at a level that will support the life of an animal. So here the chief classes of feed nutrients are the proteins, fats, carbohydrates, minerals and vitamins. What we look for, the water and fat soluble vitamins and antioxidants are the most commonly known nutrients, and their potential health benefits have been associated with dietary intake. Antioxidants help in the prevention of cancer and cerebrovascular diseases such as atherosclerosis. The combination of vitamin E, C and beta carotene can be used in the reduction of low density lipoprotein, the LDL oxidation and subsequent atherosclerosis. Vitamin supplements stimulate the production of macrophage and T cells and thus increase the antibody titer response to clinically relevant vaccines. So, the nutrient components we know, and we also know what is the role they play in boosting the immune system. So, they come under the nutrients. Herbals. Herbs or botanical products as concentrates or extracts. Plants have been used for treatment and numerous of not only acute but also chronic diseases since ages. This has been a part of your traditional medicinal system and it is still being practiced today. Various parts of the plants like seeds, berries, leaves, roots, flowers and bark are used for medicinal purposes, and all these contain various nutraceuticals. The accumulation of knowledge of plants over 100 years can help in finding effective means of ensuring proper health care. The traditional medical system of India, Ayurveda, Siddha, the traditional Chinese medication, all these use the knowledge of these herbals, the extracts and the role they play in boosting up the immune system, thereby preventing the onset of disease. Dietary supplements. The products administered through mouth that contain a dietary regimen or ingredient intended to add something to the food you eat. A dietary supplement is a product that is intended to supplement the diet. So, you normally take a normal diet, but the supplement adds up on that and gives you one specific ingredient in an extra amount. So, it might contain one or more ingredient like a vitamin, mineral, a herb or an amino acid or a concentrate or a metabolite, extract or a combination of all this, which when you take extra will provide extra health benefit to you. Examples of these dietary supplements are the black cohosh for the menopausal symptoms, the ginkgo biloba for memory loss, glucosamine or chondroitin for arthritis, etc. Supplement ingredients may also contain vitamins, minerals, herbs and other botanicals, amino acids, enzymes, organ tissues, gland extracts or other dietary substances. Medical foods. Medical foods are a specific category of therapeutic agents that are intended for nutritional management of a specific disease. Now, if you know that you have diabetes or if you know that you have a kidney disease, the doctor would advise you that your diet should be controlled, that it should contain these things and it should not contain these things. So, when a diet is prescribed like that based for the management of a particular disease, then we call it as a medical food. They are formulations which are intended to manage patients with inborn errors of amino acid metabolism. Some people have abnormalities in their metabolism. For example, you have people who are lactose intolerant. They will not be able to consume dairy products containing milk. So, for them normally soy milk is a substitute. So that is because that enzyme to break down lactose is not there in there. It's an inborn error. So there your lifestyle is now saying don't use dairy product, but instead go for something which your metabolism can absorb. Now you know what is wrong and you know how to correct it. So like that, there are people whose bodies lack certain enzymes because of which a particular food might not be digested. Then you have to supplement them, manage their disease by supplying them with this medical food. And newer medical foods are designed to manage hyperhomocystinemia, the pancreatic exocrine inefficiency, inflammatory conditions, cancer, cachexia, and you have so many other diseases. So in all these diseases, you manage your diet, or you have a formulation which you consume as a food which will help you to sustain your life. An example of health bars with added medications, transgenic cows, and even lactoferrin for immune development, immune enhancement, transgenic plants for oral vaccination against infectious diseases. All these come under the category medical foods. Functional foods. When food is being cooked or prepared using scientific intelligence, with or without the knowledge of how or why it is being used, then it is called as a functional food. It provides the body with the required amount of vitamins, fats, proteins, carbohydrates necessary for the healthy survival. A food product that is part of the usual diet but has beneficial effects that go beyond the traditional nutritional effects, that is called as a functional food. And when functional food aids in the prevention or treatment of disease or disorder other than the deficiency conditions like anemia, then it is a nutraceutical. So there is actually a fine line. Some food can both be functional as well as nutraceutical. Some foods would only be functional, some would only be nutraceutical. There is a demarcation, that line demarcating whether it is only a functional food or whether it is going to be a nutraceutical or whether it is going to be both. That is not very clear. A functional food for one consumer can be a nutraceutical for the other. Examples for nutraceuticals include fortified dairy products. Milk as such is a nutrient, but if you take casein from the milk, it is a pharmaceutical. And citrus fruits, orange juice is a nutrient, but the ascorbic acid present in orange juice is a pharmaceutical. So combining it is a functional food and a nutraceutical. Health benefits of nutraceuticals. Cardiovascular diseases. There are several nutraceuticals having lowering effects on the blood pressure, which include minerals, lipids, whole proteins, peptides, amino acids, probiotics, and vitamins. It has also been shown that the use of potassium, L-arginine, vitamin C and D, cocoflavonoids, beetroot juice, some probiotics, coenzyme Q10, controlled release melatonin, aged garlic extract, and coffee, all these have beneficial effects in controlling hypertension. Then alpha linolenic acid, ALA. This is an omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acid, PUFA, found in seeds like canola, walnut, chia, and flax. This has been found to be efficient and brain preconditioned. So some people have a tendency to have strokes. So supplementation with alpha linolenic acid actually may be efficient brain preconditioned against stroke. So the brain will have a tendency not to have it. Diabetes. Lipoic acid. Lipoic acid is an antioxidant that is used for the treatment against diabetic neuropathy. Dietary fibers from psyllium have been used for glucose control in diabetic patients and to reduce the lipid levels in hyperlipidemia. Obesity. Herbal stimulants such as ephedrine, caffeine, chitosan, and green tea help in body weight loss. The buckwheat seed proteins acting in similar manner to the fibers present in the food. And you have 5-hydroxytryptophan and green tea extract, they may promote weight loss. So all this, including caffeine, chitosan, 5-hydroxytryptophan, green tea, all help in weight loss and to control obesity. Cancer. You have flavonoids, phytoestrogens, soy foods, lycopene. 4 major factors. Flavonoids block the enzymes so that estrogen gets reduced. So estrogen induced cancers would be blocked. Phytoestrogen supplement is used to prevent prostate cancer and breast cancer. Soy foods are a source of isoflavones. Curcumin from curry, soy isoflavonoids, they all have cancer chemopreventive properties. Lycopene concentrates on the skin cancer, adrenal cancer, etc. Anti-inflammatory activities. Curcumin and linoleic acid are the ones which are mostly known. Curcumin is a polyphenol from the turmeric. They have anti-carcinogenic, antioxidative and anti-inflammatory properties. Likewise, the linoleic acid found in green leafy vegetables are used in treating problems with inflammation and autoimmune diseases. Then you have lutein and zeaxanthin, which are vision improving agents. These are used in traditional Chinese medications against the treatment of visual disorders. Then for osteoarthritis, you have the use of glucosamine. Against Alzheimer's disease, you have the beta carotene, curcumin, lutein, lycopene, etc., which exert positive effect on specific diseases by neutralizing the negative effects, especially the oxidative stress on the mitochondria, thereby preventing the onset of the disease or preventing faster neuron degeneration. So, as summary, we classified nutraceuticals based on their properties. We also saw how important they are in the prevention of various human diseases. We will be discussing more about them in the next lecture. Thank you.